Gather round, friends new and old, and welcome to the Campfire Collective. We are your hosts, David, Philip, and Jenny.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning.
Philip, you are dressed currently like you've just, I don't know how to put this. You're like some kind of SWAT undercover thingy wearing like a wetsuit or something, and you've climbed up onto a ship because you're doing some kind of international espionage. Please explain your outfit.
You're not too far off, David. So for my work, which I just got off of, because as the listener doesn't know, but all three of us are quite aware of, we are here at 5 a.m, making the dream work, recording for you, the listener, making sure that you get your daily dose of the Campfire Collective.
Yes, we are.
And as such, we've got one podcast host who's waking up. Jenny, welcome. We got one podcast host who's in the middle of his day, David. Yes, hi. And we've got one who's ending his day by coming off fresh from work. And as such, I'm wearing the underpart of my work uniform, I suppose would be the proper phrasing, because at work, it's consistently running air conditioning. So it's so cold that I have to wear updated long johns, which is an undershirt, but it's like almost it's thermal. It's thermal. So I didn't have time. I was already running late as it was, and so I couldn't get into something nicer that the Campfire Collective audience could truly see me at my best at. So I apologize, but I'm here ready to record. I'm actually here this week. That's step one.
Right. So when I said that you were wearing a wetsuit to sneak onto an enemy ship, you said you're not far off, and what you determined was not far off that was wearing thermals underneath your uniform to protect you from air conditioning.
Hey, look, it's to protect
These two things are closely linked.
It's to protect my dry ass from getting wet from sitting on other people's wet spots at work. Look, if you must know on the reason why it's not too far off, I'm going to war, David. I'm going to work war, avoiding the wetness of anybody else's spillages. So you weren't far off, but I didn't want to get into the details, David. I did not. Jenny, how was your week this week? Any air conditioning snafus for you? You sound a little under the weather, my friend.
Yeah, I have been recovering from a pretty nasty cold this whole week. I'm unfortunately still very with the sniffles. I'm doing a lot of coughing and sneezing still, but I don't have sinus pressure anymore. I'm not contagious anymore as far as I'm aware, so I can go live normal life, but we're still trying to get the nose to properly work again and not constantly require a tissue in front of it every 5 minutes. So it's this time next week, I will be probably fully healed. No sniffles involved.
We hope.
Yeah.
David, for once, are you the healthy one on the podcast? Are you any ailments for you to?
I suppose I am. Yeah.
Good.
None really. I've got a slight headache, but that's it. I've got my trusty glass of water to rehydrate.
Yes. Ooh, yes.
Every 4 weeks, it seems, we come back around to a Would You episode, and so we've got some Would You questions prepared for one another. I will go first. How's that?
Shan't you?
Go for it.
Shan't you?
I shall. Jenny.
Yes.
Would you accept 50 grand if the person you hate most in the world instantly received $1 million?
Oh.
You know, I don't really have anyone in my life that I truly hate. It'd be interesting to see who that person would be once the universe decides to if the universe would decide to hand out that kind of money. But yeah, I would totally accept that. If they get $1 million, sure, I wouldn't be too bothered.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, Jenny, your turn.
How very saintly of you,
All
Jenny.
right, Philip. You're first on my docket here. Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader for the rest of your life? Go.
As somebody who has to deal with asthma already, I let me tell you, I can handle being annoying, and at the very least, maybe at some point in my life, sounding wise. Like, say what you will about Yoda, at least a lot of people say, "Oh, it's very wise, a very wise way and manner of speaking." Having a breathing difficulty, a medical problem, I'm not signing up for that. I've already got that. If you put a new dog in front of me, I've got allergies. Good God, no. So I will be annoying more so than I would. Hungry, can I get just keep on going on and on and on. But
So
interesting
you'd say breathe
question.
like Darth Vader.
No. I'm talking like Yoda is what I'm doing. David.
Oh, that's what
David,
you're doing.
buddy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, I could not do the
Give it to me.
anymore. Yeah, David, would you cover for a friend who was lying to their partner?
Oof.
Ouch.
I would. This is so hard to.
You weren't expecting this, were you?
I really don't support that kind of behavior. No, I wasn't expecting this. I can't be complicit in that kind of behavior. But I also don't want to be involved. I don't want to be the one. So I think yes, I would lie.
Oh.
But only for so long. To the point where I'm telling that person, look, you've got to be honest. I'm telling my friend, you have to be honest, or you tell her, or I will. Assuming this is a her that this person is dating. Yeah, you tell her, or I will. So for a little bit, maybe, but then but not for long.
You would have no problem if it was like a surprise party, like that's secret, right? Like if it was innocent, you would have no qualms whatsoever there, correct? It's just a matter of where we all went to like cheating or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I just assumed you meant cheating.
Yes.
I mean,
Could you imagine
if this person had a secret career, then maybe I would keep that secret for longer. Like if this person was like an undercover.
What if they had an OnlyFans?
That to me is a little like cheating. A secret OnlyFans.
Really?
Yeah, I think your partner deserves to know that you're doing that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I strongly believe that your partner deserves to know if you're doing that.
I think at some point.
All right, Jenny. Or no, sorry, Philip. Would you rather all movies end on a painful cliffhanger, or sex always end without an orgasm?
Oh.
I think you know what? I need this clarification. All sex and not ending in an orgasm specifically just for me?
Oh, good question.
I think that needs a clarification.
It does.
Well, definitely for you. Definitely for you.
Definitely for me. I know that I'm already shot out of this.
It's just you. It's just you who can't have an orgasm.
Thank you.
I watch a lot of movies, man. You know what? I'm good. This really sucks, but I will pick movies. It's too personal. Like, forgive me for not having seen the Super, or I guess I did see the Super Mario Brothers. But if that is my qualm, is that somehow doesn't end in a satisfying ending. It already didn't, and I didn't like the ending as it was. So therefore, what difference does it make if it's leaving on a cliffhanger? So I'd much rather have the certainty of knowing that in those intimate moments can certainly have a satisfying ending for all parties involved. So Jenny,
I take it either way, no matter what you had, what I had chosen, whether it had been just you or you and your partner, then you would be choosing movies and with cliffhanger.
It was close. It was really close though, but like there was no chance if it was both. If it was both,
right.
Yes, Jenny. Would you report a coworker who is stealing from the company. And I chose you for this question specifically because, and we can edit this out if you don't want to talk about this on the podcast, but you work with your family at your job, correct?
Yes, I work at a family business. And we don't have to cut that out. Everybody knows that.
Okay, just making sure before we go forward. Okay, so that's why I specifically chose this for you. What would you report, somebody doing that?
Well, I mean, it would just be
maybe
family drama for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
How dare you steal, mother, from your own company? How dare you? But if I was not working remotely in a family business, I'd be pretty bothered by that. If my boss was having someone actively steal from their company, something that they finance and run themselves, it's their child. I'm like, yeah, I would want to know that, so I absolutely would.
Jenny, I'm going to clarify this. You work in a family business. If someone was stealing from that business, they're probably stealing from the rest of the family. So would you report them to the rest of the family?
If we honestly don't have other employees currently. We did previously. But yeah, if in that case, absolutely. If they're stealing from my family, then I'm reporting that immediately. It's like, no, how dare you? When you're here, you're family. If you're not with us, you're against the family. David, I have a very space-themed would you rather question collection this week. So, would you rather the aliens that make first contact with us be robotic or organic? Go.
Ew.
I know.
What a weird thing to have a preference about. I would rather they be organic. I feel like, I don't know. Organic opens you up to more gross things, but robotic might be more intimidating because then they're probably very advanced. That they were already like incorporated technology into their very existence. I think I'm going to go with organic and hope they're not too slimy and gross.
More room for negotiation too, since robots are less likely to have any sort of heart.
Right.
Good point, Jenny.
All right, Jenny, would you rather struggle financially for the rest of your life or never have sex again?
Whoa, what the hell? I would rather struggle financially for the rest of my life.
Atta girl, Jenny.
I can't give that up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Amen.
I don't think that's something I have the ability to give up. Period.
That's a unanimous answer. May I just say from the podcast? Anybody listening?
Do we all agree?
We agree.
Yeah, we're already living that already. Why give up the one? We'll be
having sex under bridges for the rest of our lives.
Woohoo! No, we're not. All right, Phil. We are gonna move away from the space-themed questions. Would you rather invite the most annoying relative over for dinner or go over to have dinner at their house? Go.
What if the answer to this question is the most annoying relative hosts Thanksgiving every year?
Well, I hope they don't listen to the podcast.
I hope that we don't use this as a preview. All right, let's think about this. Let's say it's like a special dinner outside of that, and because Thanksgiving you're already invited, you have other family to buffer there. I guess I'd one more time. Hit me with the options one more time. Now that I have that thought outside my head, Jenny. One more time.
Would you rather invite the most annoying relative over to your house for dinner, or if they invited you to their house for dinner, would you go?
If I was free, I would go.
Which would you prefer, to host or to be a guest?
I would rather prefer to be a guest. First of all, especially since Yeah, I would prefer to be a guest at their house or a restaurant. I mean, a guest upon whatever their choice of lodging would be. But where I just moved, it would be a much more intimate affair than the house that they own. So therefore, I wouldn't want to host and set that time aside. The worst part of that would be the would be just the actual dinner itself. I have no quarrel that the dinner itself would be delicious. It would just be the content upon which the dinner was had that I would be. Oh God, that would
Oh,
be a process. All
Look,
right,
always be a guest because then you can leave whenever you want.
there it is. You have the
exactly. But
choice.
oh God, it would be so hard to excuse myself so appropriately. All right, thank you, Jenny. David, imagine you could make any wish and it would come true, but at the cost of a body part for every wish made. And naturally, you cannot regain or even compensate for the lack of any body part sacrificed. Would you ever make a wish? And if so, to what frequency?
What constitutes a body part? Do I get to give up my gallbladder first?
I would say that
Like something and my appendix. Like these things can be removed, and like you can live without them.
yeah, I'd say that those
Yeah,
count.
and
Those count.
do I have? Can I give up my pinky toe, or do I have to give up a whole foot?
No, I'd say pinky toes, anything that's
Okay,
of substance.
right, all right. I would probably make. I think you can get a lot done with just like 2 or 3 wishes. Yeah, I think there's enough body parts that that aren't necessary that I can use for wishes. But then like anything that I have that allows me to live life normally, like run, swim, have sex. I'm not giving those up, right? There's no wish that could make life better without those things. So yeah, as long as I have my freedom and my ability to yeah, then I'm not giving up any more. I'll give up a few unnecessary body parts.
So it sounds like the pinky toe would be the cutoff for
Philip,
you. The pinky toe would be the cutoff. Any wish that was
yeah,
beyond
maybe
that.
but each pinky toe. I might get rid of like the pinkies themselves as well. I think I could manage with 4 fingers.
Okay, good to know.
But the pinky toe, each pinky toe, my gallbladder, my spleen, those are going probably. I'll probably just do my research, make sure that those body parts are not actually necessary. I know the
You can
appendix.
also consider the organs that you have two of, kidneys.
Yeah, but what if I then develop kidney problems or someone I love? Well, I guess, yeah, someone I love needs a kidney. No, I'd rather keep 2 of those.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. All right, Philip, would you rather be arrested for a savage double homicide where everyone thinks you're guilty and the
Whoa.
trial is televised, but you are found not guilty, or be arrested for some cool white collar crime and found guilty?
Whoa.
Whether you did these crimes is irrelevant. In one case, it's a savage double homicide. Everyone thinks you're guilty, and you're found not guilty, so you get to go free. But everyone thinks you're guilty. Or you did some cool white collar crime, but you are found guilty, and you do actually go to jail, prison, I should say.
Is it fair if I ask how long am I going to jail?
Like at least 10 years. I would say, like, yeah, let's call it 10 years.
Oh wow. Wow.
Basically, you're like in the one case, you're like OJ, but even more of the population really truly believes that you're guilty.
Right. I would definitely say the first one. Look, I as much as I think I like to imagine that I care about what other people think, that would really test the theory, wouldn't it? I guess I wouldn't at that point, but 10 years in jail. Sincerely, I'm not that narcissistic, but I'm too pretty for jail. Like jail would destroy me in all the ways that you're thinking of. I don't know that I make it out in 10 years. So even honestly, had you even gone to like 3 years, 2 years, a year would have been iffy. But there's a lot of time there that I'm like, hell no. I'd rather at least be innocent and know myself, or at least, like you said, it doesn't matter. But as long as I'm found innocent, that would be fine. I would feel guilty. I would feel guilty even if I'm not.
You're probably going to lose all your family and friends and job prospects.
Well, no, technically, as long as I'm not convicted, they can hold it against me for some jobs.
Right, but like, okay, maybe career prospects.
Career,
job prospects,
absolutely.
maybe not, but like career, like
I think either way, I'm giving up the career, though, to be honest with you.
Gonna be hard
either way, I'm giving up the career because either I went to jail for 10 years or I didn't. I guess what? I could use it as a life skill.
Or maybe you get a great book deal.
You know what? I guess I hadn't thought of that. Had I thought of that beforehand, I might have chosen the other way. Very good question. Jenny, would you? I did listen to last week's episode, so I have a question somewhat based off of that. Would you rather have a mid Pokemon pet? So we're not talking like Gyarados. We're not talking Onyx. We're probably talking like maybe like something like a Jigglypuff, maybe something
Squirtle.
Maybe not as cool. Yeah, kind of like Squirtle. Yeah, a mid Pokemon pet. A human Mario character as a real life friend, or a leprechaun as a maid? Which would you rather have? A mid Pokemon pet, a human Mario character.
I think we all know the answer to this question, Philip. I would absolutely pick a Pokemon pet. Are you kidding me?
What? Okay, what if we lower? What if we lower it? It's a really low. It's a Caterpie. A Caterpie. Like, so for those who don't know what Pokemon is, this is just an oversized.
You reduced me to Caterpie?
Yes. This is a Pokemon version of a what are those? Caterpillar.
Well, that'd be the better option of the two, I guess. Caterpie versus Weedle. We can go in a whole debate on that. Well, yeah, I still would. I don't have any real interest in being a friend with anybody from the Mario universe. And then the third option, I'm not quite remembering it. But
shots to you, Luigi.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather have a Pokemon because then we go on adventures together and we wouldn't battle any Pokemon. But yeah, we'd have a lot of good times. So first option, boom. David, would you rather have a photographic memory or an IQ of 200? Go.
Ooh.
Well, maybe my IQ is 200. I would rather have a photographic memory. I think. I think the possibilities there are just awesome. Like I think you're already gonna have a pretty high IQ if you have a photographic memory because the way you take in information is just tremendous. Like it's yeah, definitely photographic memory.
Oh yeah,
and then
totally
you're basically gonna be able to win every argument. It's like, what? You didn't say that. I'll be like, actually, I did say that, and I remember it very clearly, and I have a photographic memory. So, boom.
Exactly. You're your own. You become the show me the receipt.
I become Wikipedia.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I love how David's choice on that is simply the reasoning for that is because I can win any argument. That's so telling.
Our next segment here is a good old round of Bite Me, where we bring in controversial opinions that we express on this podcast to each other because we can, and the people need to hear it.
People do need to hear it.
So mine this week is rest is important, but naps are such a chore. I don't understand why it's popular / fun to take naps. Sure, they're like helpful when you actually need them, but the only reason naps exist, it's because we're not getting proper sleep in the first place. I have grown older and found them so annoying. They have now become something that I have to add to my to-do list, and all they do is make me groggy. I'm so tired of managing how many minutes I need to rest. It's so odd. If I could just take it off my list, I absolutely could. Instead, I just want to step away from the hustle and just put my phone away, listen to the wind. That's my new way to get refreshed these days. If you disagree, bite me.
Guys, 90-minute timers at restaurants are stupid. Look, Unless we are talking hours upon hours of loitering, which cannot be the standard and is usually accompanied with more ordering, putting a timer that about 20 to 40 minutes of which can be accounted for ordering and cook time anyways is stupid. I understand you want to accommodate as many customers as possible. I get it. I understand. But rushing those customers already at your establishment and putting them on an assembly line is not creating an environment that's welcoming whatsoever. And if you disagree with me, you can bite my appetizer.
It is not acceptable for any public establishment to not have toilets that are available to the public. It is a basic human necessity to need to urinate and defecate, and unless society wants me doing it on the side of the street, we need toilets. And you know what? To the store clerk at the gas station yesterday, you can bite me.
The game section is brought to you today by Sassy Mama's Sales. Want to get a blast from the past with a fine vintage item, or maybe need a new blender and other household items? Go to eBay and search Sassy Mama's Sales located within the eBay stores page for all the greatest finds you'll want for every occasion. Sassy Mama's Sales, all one word, all your shopping in one stop.
Well, we are ready for a game that Philip has prepared. But before we do that, we got some questions for you, Phil, Jenny, and I. Mine, if you had to choose one fruit to eat for the rest of your life, which would you choose? And of course, you can eat other foods, but only one type of fruit.
Watermelon.
Nice.
Watermelon?
Yeah, not even guys.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
It's mostly water. It's like,
well, okay, so it was between two green grapes,
I don't understand
which I don't
that
know
impulse.
it's watermelon, because literally there is no better day in the world. When I go to work, they have a work cafeteria, and the seasonal fruit changes, and of course most of the frickin' time it's the melons, right? The melons that nobody gives a flying about. It's called the cantaloupe and honeydew list for most of the time, but
I
my
love
friends,
cantaloupe.
you can suck my cantaloupe is what you can do. Nobody freaking loves it. Nobody likes it. You're the only person in the world who does, and it's
I like it
because
way
of you.
better than watermelon.
You're wrong. You are factually wrong, David. Factually wrong, my friend. And listen, the best day of the month, of the week, is whenever I go in, and to my surprise, there's a little tub of watermelon. I empty that sucker out, I put it on my plate, and I don't give a damn if anybody looks at me sideways, because I will eat all that watermelon. I will enjoy all of it, and it will be delicious. I will enjoy that fruit. Thank you, watermelon. Enjoy my digestive system.
You don't like mango?
I like mango. I like it's not to say that other fruits aren't good. It's that watermelon is so far and away the MVP.
Just watermelon is so isn't. Okay, sorry. Jenny.
I was gonna let this ranting back and forth about
subject
fruit
for
continue.
next week's main topic.
Yeah.
Philip and David battle it out over watermelon versus other fruits.
Which is the best melon? So my question for you, Philip, is
Yes.
What is the funniest commercial you've ever seen?
Well, ironically, 1778 Cars for Kids, or whatever the hell that song is. I mean, that's just so annoying. But it's kind of funny, and then it gets stuck in your head all the time. But funniest commercial, I don't know how anybody could not say this one. It has to be the Old Spice, look at me, the original Old Spice meme commercial, where it's, now look at me, now look at your man, now look at me, and look at this, and he's just transitioning. It's between that and possibly any of the Doritos commercials that were like prime Super Bowl commercials. But the problem is that there were so many that very few now actually stick out to myself. Whereas the Old Spice, yes, they eventually evolved to Terry Crews, but I think everybody always remembers that first one, or at least remembers the essence of it. So I go with the Old Spice commercial as being the funniest, and it was just cherished, and I loved it growing up. Guys, I have brought to you a game. The game is called I'm Moving Out. I've got a game all about moving, as that has been all my life has been for these past 2 weeks. Name is your buzzer. Make sure to buzz in. First one I hear gets to answer wherever they stopped me in the prompt. The game is, I will give you the description of a word or phrase that has to do with the subject of moving. It is your guys' job to correctly identify which word or phrase I wrote down. I have 11 here. First to 5 wins, or if I run out and we are tied, I do indeed have a tiebreaker. Does this all make sense to you two?
Yeah.
I
For the
think
most
it will
part.
make the most sense to me when we start playing it and we get the groove of how it flows.
Excellent. All right, guys, here we go. The first of the questions. This item is used for packing and transporting items during a move.
David, I'm going to say cardboard box.
Yes, how very specific, but yes, absolutely. 1 point to David.
If I know
1
Philip,
point to David.
He wants specificity.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. All right, guys. Second one. Here we go. The act of removing furniture or appliances from a house during a move.
The act?
3, 2, David. Yes.
Lifting?
No. Jenny. Any guesses?
Sorry, the act?
The act of removing furniture or appliances from a house during a move. Yes. 3, 2, 1. The phrase we were looking for is quite simply moving out.
Moving out, pushing? I don't know.
Yes, it was indeed moving out. That was the answer.
Oh, that was the answer.
Yeah. That was the answer. The answer was moving out. So no point given there. But again, we're still going to the first to 5. David leads 1 point to 0. Next one. A popular rental truck company used for moving that Philip used and rented from this week. David?
A U-Haul.
That would be the answer. The rest of the prompt was, who as a company has an opportunity to sponsor the pod at any point in time they wish. David, you lead now 2 to 0. 2 to 0. Jenny, got to be quicker on that trigger. Here we go. Man. Yes. You've come back from deficits before, though, Jenny. Have no shame here. Mm-hmm. Something provided to all who helped Philip move as a friend, and owed to one David J. Sampson, friend of the podcast, for his help in moving my big-ass bed this week.
David
first.
What?
I heard David first.
I don't know how specific you want me to be. I'm going to say a Denny's Denny's meal.
You know what? I'll give it to you. It was lunch, but yes, that would be the answer. And you were there.
Let's be honest. It's going to be Denny's or IHOP.
In and out, my friend. In and out. All right. David leads 3 to 0. Jenny is in a bit of a hole.
I'm trying.
All right, here we go.
Man.
A type of adhesive used for securing boxes during a move.
Jenny?
David.
Jenny, I did hear Jenny first this time.
What is packing tape?
Word for frickin' word, packing tape indeed. Jenny is on the board.
Are we playing Jeopardy now?
3 to... Yeah, you know what? I will accept answers in the form of a question. I love it. 3 to 1, David's leading. Next one. A type of tool used for moving heavy items like furniture or appliances. David. I did hear David first.
I'm going to go with, since I'm guessing you don't have a forklift, I'm going to go with dolly.
David leads 4 to 1. He is 1 point away from victory. Dolly was the answer. Hello. All right. Possibly the last one, depending on what Jenny does here.
I don't know if I can.
The act of placing items into boxes or containers for transport during a move. David.
Packing.
The answer is very simple. It is indeed packing. David, you are packing a victory, my friend. Congratulations on your victory.
Gotta catch up to Jenny.
You did.
She's in an overall lead on the scoreboard, so...
She is indeed.
You can have this one. I'll let you have this one.
And with that victory, David now has 2 victories and 3 losses, while Jenny is at an even Steven 2 and 2 victories and losses for her career. Woo!
That slaps. Here we are. This is where we bring you guys a little piece of media, entertainment, something that has tickled us this week that we want to share with you. And I'm going to throw it to you guys first.
I'll go ahead and start. So my selection this week is some good old music, some good old tunes. Now, so I'm going to bring to the table an album this week. The artist Victoria Monet has a fantastic album that I've been listening to for some time called Jaguar. I'll highlight a few songs that are my personal favorites, but let's talk about it. Every single song in this is perfectly placed in the right order, and it's the perfect vibe to listen to on a weekday night while you're reading, while you're making dinner. It creates the absolute grooviest vibes subtly. So, some highlights for me are the first song, Moment, and there's several amazing interludes, but my personal favorite is We Might Be Falling in Love. If you like Childish Gambino, I think you'll like Victoria Monet. Jaguar by Victoria Monet, that slaps.
I will actually check that out, Jenny. Very nice. I think there is certainly an art to album making, not just with the songs individually, but also how they're arranged. Well
Absolutely.
done. Bravo. Bravo. It would be apropos of me to introduce to the podcast and that slaps category the only song that I think of when I'm in the middle of moving. The song is called Moving Out by the one, the only Billy Joel. Guys, it may not be something I discovered this week, but it is certainly apropos. Moving Out by Billy Joel. I'm saying that slaps.
And for me, it is also a song. It's End of It by Friday Pilots Club. It's just another indie song that I've been jamming to the last couple weeks. And I'm just not watching very many movies at the moment because I'm super busy, you know?
Yeah, me neither. I was trying to think of a movie to bring to the table this time to switch things up, and I was like, I don't have any movies to bring. I'm too busy.
But here we are. These songs slap.
All right, as the dawn arrives at the end of our episode, we are reaching the final word. But before we do that, we have a few sponsors to thank.
Yeah, thank you to Cass and Crossland and to Jake Corlang for the music you hear on the show.
Thanks to Ryan Ardell.
And to Josh Hans for all the audio bits you're hearing throughout the show. And thank you, you wonderful listeners, for always tuning in with us. Your support means the absolute world. If you are just dipping your toes in our magical waters, you should be sure to check us out on social media. We're on all major social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more. You can find us on other streaming platforms if you want to switch up where you listen to us. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all the major ones, except Pandora. Ugh. Why even bother? Pandora's nasty.
Do you have any last words, Philip? Beware of bears. Where's my inhaler?